I am Brandon Titus. I am currently a lab technician in Dr. Eric Jones' lab. We do a lot of research in gut microbiome specifically. I have personally been doing research for about 9 years now. 4 years of that was as a student, and then 5 years as lab technician across various labs, including this lab and Dr. Olesnicki's lab. We work with Drosophila Melanogaster, which is more commonly known as the fruit fly, as a model organism to kind of see how things that we work on in fruit flies can then apply to humans and perhaps more medical practice or medical focused applications. The biggest thing we're working on is looking at different variables that impact bacterial grafting to the gut, because there's a kind of a big problem with a common disease that is caught in hospitals is something called C. diff, and it's this opportunistic bacteria that when you get fed these full range antibiotics, it basically takes over these spots where other bacteria once filled in your gut. And one of the more common treatments for this is they do something called a fecal transplant, where they essentially add or use bacteria from other people's gut microbiome and then add it to your own gut, hopefully fill in those spaces that C. diff has taken over and kind of reestablish a healthy gut microbiome. Unfortunately, these fecal transplants aren't always 100% effective, so our goal is to essentially understand the mechanisms or specific variables that may increase the efficacy of these kind of fecal transplants. And so right now my specific research is looking at colonization effects of bacteria within the gut, and specifically how they arrange themselves in the structure of the gut, as far as what I do in the lab. And as far as my personal experience from going from student researcher is I've absolutely enjoyed being a student researcher. I think it actually kind of propelled my career in a way that I did not necessarily expect. When I started off going to this college, I actually started off as a computer science major, and I switched to biology, and I felt like I was in this position where, taking these courses, but I wasn't doing a lot. And then, I was offered an opportunity to do research in Dr. Olesnicki's lab, and, it's that point when I started doing research, that's the first time I really felt like a purpose and what I wanted to do, and it kind of propelled my career, and that's kind of how I got into research and why I wanted to stay in research, because I found it very interesting. I like the problem solving it. I like the getting into the dissections and the various biochemical experiments, and also ultimately just getting the data too, and kind of learning new things, but not just learning things that people have already researched, but learning things that questions that haven't been answered yet.